Rafi's tips for artists because he loves you.
Hola, you amazing artists, and welcome to the studio. So today I want to start a series of videos that are 21 questions that every artist should ask themselves. Every week we're going to answer one of these questions and contemplate them, and hope that you contemplate them as well weekly, because these are questions that have really changed the direction of my art career and the ability that I'm able to put myself out there. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of this video, I want to make an announcement for everybody out there that ordered the pre-order for my book, Dear Artist, Letters from a Rogue. Thank you so much. That book will be shipping out to you on October 15th. For everybody out there that has no idea what I'm talking about, because I haven't promoted it as much as I would, I am currently in the process of finishing up a book called Dear Artist, Letters from a Rogue, one of the best books that I have written so far. And on the website for $25, you get a special pre-order copy that is signed by me. You get an audiobook MP3 of the book itself. You get a poster, and you get a cool Rogue Artist bookmark. So these are special books. They're not going to be the books that get released in November. So if you're interested in pre-ordering the books, please pre-order the books before the deadline. Obviously that helps me out a lot as far as like being able to order the books. I have a goal to sell at least 70 more books, and that would be chef's kiss. Okay, so what is the question for this week? This is a really important question, and the reason that it's number one is because this really is at the core of why it is that you want to be an artist and why it is that you do what you do. So the question is, why do I create what I create? Why did I start creating art in the first place?
This question in particular, I feel like is a good question to ask yourself regularly.
This is why I want you to contemplate this question throughout the week, because it's easy to just throw out some dumb answer like,
"'Cause I like money."
It's not a dumb answer. There's nothing wrong with that answer, but I'm just saying, like, you want to dig a little bit deeper into why it is that you create what you create and why you want to create art in the first place.
Why do I create what I create? Probably because I have tiny hands. Good for whittling, getting into things. Very lucrative.
Personally, there's a lot of reasons why I create art, but one of the reasons goes back to my childhood. I was that kid that basically people would forget that I was there, and they would say, "Oh, he's so good." It's like you forget that he's even there, which, by the way, is not a great thing to tell a child.
I think the reason that I started creating in part is because I was left alone a lot. Not very many people liked me. So my best friend was a hot pink radio, and I loved listening to the radio and singing, and I drew a lot of pictures, and I would stare at rocks a lot. So that was my world. That was where I found my joy, and I guess my, not that I would use these terms as a kid, but like my sense of empowerment and inner peace. Because I was one of those weirdo loner kids.
I just didn't have a voice. Like, any opinions or anything that I had, I was kind of discounted as just not knowing enough, or, being a dumb teenager or a dumb whatever it is. At an early age, I didn't really learn to express myself very much. So as a kid, I was usually sitting quietly in some corner, sketching in a sketchbook or drawing. It was my way to be able to express myself to myself, even though not too many people were looking at my art at the time. At the core of why I create what I create and why I do what I do, including these videos, is because I got to a point where I realized, I have a voice, damn it. I am going to share and express myself in whatever way I possibly can with the world. For me, that's where the art transitioned from just being this personal thing that I did to actually putting it out there and going through the process of facing rejection, facing criticism, facing all that stuff. I was willing to face all that stuff because for the first time in my life, I was expressing myself. I was putting stuff out there.
I was really scared of people for most of my life. And I didn't know how to use my words, even though I was one of those kids who did really well in English and had vocabulary skills and had the skill set, but I didn't have the cojones to talk, to speak. So the way that I tried to communicate with people really since forever, as long as I can remember, was through creating stuff. whether it was drawing a picture or writing a song or making a thing, that was how I had a voice before I knew I had a voice. Once I knew I had a voice and had the bravery to use it, then the explosion happened. Then I was more willing to share the art. Then the art became the vehicle through which I could make the initial connection and then use my words. And now it's like this whole cool thing that fits together of like using my words, showing my art, and all the things in between, relationship building. But it was always sort of a connection point, I guess.
The paintings, to the music, to the books, to these videos, to the podcast, to any platform or any opportunity that I have to either put my voice out there in words, my voice in images, my voice in music, whichever way it is, like to be able to express myself with the world, because I have something to say, damn it, and I'm going to say it. You get into thralls of things, you're like, oh, I've got commissions, or, you know, nobody's paying attention to me on social media or anything like that, and you totally forget why you started creating art in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do you do this? You didn't start creating art because you were like, I want to make money with it. Because, like, let's be honest, nobody thinks to themselves, you know what? I want to make money. You know what a good way to make money is?
To be a struggling artist. I don't know. I just feel like making a thing, whether it's a song or the jewelry that I create, is better at conveying, like, the feeling than to just say stuff. But I also just like to make things.
In thinking about the question a little bit deeper, I realized that what I wanted to create was an atmosphere of empowerment, an atmosphere of people believing in themselves, an atmosphere of people being badass, of people being rogues, basically, and just going out there and bucking the system and doing things your own way. At the end of the day, that's what I want to create with everything that I do, whether it's paintings or music or anything. I want to create an atmosphere where people are willing to trust in themselves, go out there and freaking be themselves. Just be themselves.
Because I believe in magic and I want to share awe and magic and inspiration through talismans or through a song. And I kind of can't not do it, especially with the songs. Like, they won't leave me alone. I can't sleep at night until the song gets written. So, yeah. Was that an answer?
That was an answer, yes. I think it's so important to like get in there and really like, why is it that I create? Because that reason of why you create art to begin with is really the driving force behind what you do. It is the driving force behind the passion. It is the driving force behind the motivation.
Or you might be like, I don't know why the frick I make what I make. It angers me.
It's understanding that passion and motivation that allows me to say in this video that I want to empower people. I want people out there to follow their own path. I want people out there to blaze their own trail. I want people to stop complaining and bitching and moaning that they can't do something and just do it in whichever way they possibly can do it.
Yeah, so I really do think it's a good way to like see where your compass is pointed, right? Because like there was a period of time where the answer to that question would have been like, I don't know, man, I'm burned out and I probably do it because of social expectations.
Why do I want to do this? You know, because it's important to figure out your why. Mm-hmm. But like, you know, we've been doing this for over a decade.
Yeah, why do we keep doing this?
Why do we keep doing this? Like, it's not like easy. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not like the typical thing where it's like, well, you've been working at this place for a while and maybe you have job security, which is a lie, by the way. Job security is absolute and complete bullshit.
Indeed.
This is the best job security that you have, where it's like this unpredictable ride where it's like, oh, this month we did really well. Oh, shit, this month we're not doing so well. And
it can feel like that, but you are creating your own fate because it's everything is in your hands.
Yeah.
There's really no external factors that can influence you unless you let them.
That's the thing that drives me. That's the thing that drives my art. That's the thing that drives my life. That's the thing that drives my passion. So why do I create? Because I have a voice, I have something to say, and I want to share it out there.
I also got a little praise for certain things that I would do, so I think that encouraged me, and then that kind of ignited into a passion. And here we sit.
So that is the first question of 21 questions. And the assignment for you this week, if you want to take on an assignment, this isn't school, you guys. It's just ask yourself this question. And the thing is, contemplate it. See if you could like actually sit and contemplate it while you're working in art. Contemplate this question. Why do I create art? Why did I start creating art in the first place? Why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this, right? When I could go have some brainless work.
Yeah.
Where I'm doing, and nothing to say, not to say anything bad about brainless work.
No, there's a place for that. And honestly, I actually like laborious brainless tasks. Sometimes it's like meditation. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money and wanting to have stability and wanting to have whatever. But those are the side effects, usually not the driving force.
That's the thing that's really going to push you forward through all the adversity, all the roadblocks, and all the stuff. That's why this question is so important, and that's why this question is number one on my list.
The core reason is usually an emotional thing.
Yeah.
Like magic and connection.
Magic and connection. I just like it so much. It brings me a fire inside.
Yeah, I can't not do it.
I can't not
I feel bad when I don't do it.
Yeah.
Like...
It could be anything. And that's the thing. Like, it doesn't have to be like this deep thing. Let's say that you're an artist and you're going to do a sketch or something, right? You spend that's a lot of time spent isolated, right? Messing things up over and over, probably starting over a bunch of times. Like, yeah, I was drawing this thing and I was getting it wrong and I kept like whatever and the lines weren't working out and I just couldn't. I was struggling with this. Like anybody else, if it was anything else, they'd be like, that sucks.
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing that?
There's no way that you would do it for any length of time unless you loved it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the same thing for music. I've heard myself singing into a microphone with headphones on. And I'm like, why would you do something that discourages you and makes you feel bad every time you do it? Every time. And yet, you're going to do it. Why? Because you want to express yourself in that way. Whenever all those insecurities and those doubts and fears come in, boom, you remind yourself, why am I doing this in the first place? You are an artist. This isn't a job. Right? It's not like, well, I work at this place because blank, blank, blank. It is, I am an artist. This is a lifestyle. Why am I an artist? And that falls into every category of everything you create.
Why did I choose this?
Why did I choose this? And that's pretty much all I have to say about that for right now. I actually have a lot more to say about that question because there's a lot of deep, but it would be a really long video. So I want to give a big shout out to our Rogue Artist family on Patreon. We just did some tier changes and stuff, and man, the Rogue family is just amazing to us, to each other. It's just a great community of artists, and I adore you. So this is a big shout out for you. You're the reason that we're able to put aside time and make these videos possible. And for everybody watching this video, just know I absolutely adore you. You guys are absolutely amazing. And hey, if you're watching this for the first time and you'd like to subscribe to us, go ahead and click right over here. And other than that, yeah, I've got a book to publish and things, and we'll see you next week with the next question. All right, adios.